say hello. There we go. That's one way to do it. Welcome, everyone. We are live here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us tonight. I think I screwed up on Instagram. I apologize. I can no longer find it. So we are here on YouTube. So welcome. This is a spontaneous live streaming. Just as a last minute, I decided to do this because about to leave for Bali soon in just a couple days, and I won't be able to get on, I don't think. And there was some interesting things that I wanted to go over with you tonight, such as, or especially this, about a lot of the symptoms people are experiencing, they're attributing to Ascension symptoms. And I'm finding the exact opposite is the case. It's actually infiltration. So we're going to talk about that, get some questions, and give you an update on a few things. So let's see who's here in the house. And probably not so many today because this was just such a spontaneous thing. I didn't do an announcement or email announcement. Anyway, so welcome, Sandy from Hawaii. And SD, I'm not quite sure I remember who that is. Sydney from Arizona, great. And we have Tom, and I believe you're up in Idaho, right? And LA, Shelley's in LA. Maryland, Patrick in Maryland. Priest River, Idaho. Oh, there we go. Yes. Connecticut and New York. Welcome, everyone. So I won't be distracted by Instagram tonight because I totally screwed that up. So, but if it says I'm live there, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to focus on what we have here in front of us. So great. Well, I did want to give you an update on a few things. So one of the things that we've been working on, so use the acronym for this. Ideally, you'll know what Queen Frank Sam means. So we did an avatar for that to help the collective with their finances. And the financial system had been set at a very low threshold at 500, according to the scale that I've been using. And so that has been elevated. Myself and a few others have been working on this avatar, and maybe people that I don't even have a clue have listened to that previous YouTube video and are also helping to contribute to this raising of these frequencies. So I'm pleased to announce that the Queen Frank Sam avatar is still at infinity in every one of the chakras. So that means this higher financial frequency is being able to be benefited by everyone, and provided they know how to take advantage of it, but it is available. So there is that. There was also, I've been giving you kind of an update on the angels versus demons scenario. And that had gone actually quite low for a time, all the way down to 15% angels, and the rest were demons. I remember experiencing pretty hard days during that time. And then I happened to see this random video of this man who never posts on Instagram, and he was telling how he had a vision and he had seen God releasing millions of angels. And I recalibrated after that, and it indeed had gone up quite significantly. I think it was up to 75% at the time. And today we are up to 95% angels, 5% demons. So I think that's about, for every demon, there's about 19 angels, somewhere around that vicinity. So that's encouraging. However, those few demons can be creating quite a ruckus, because we know that these dark energies have been feeding on these dark entities. I've been calling it ancient interference, has been feeding on these dark energies of anger, rage, fury, fear, terror, even sadness and grief. And that has, so these few remaining demons that they are are quite active. It's kind of like, having stirred the bee's nest, and they are almost vicious right now, the ones that are left, and they are creating quite a ruckus. And so, um, and that's why I wanted to talk about this infiltration versus ascension. So, Temecula, you're close by me. Great having you here. And let me see what there's one comment here. Lots of popular New Age gurus, I think, are unwitting tools of the dark forces, of course, or maybe witting in some cases, confusing ascension with basically mental or spiritual issues. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so the dark side are using a lot of spiritual people who have a big influence, and they know that they can thus affect a lot of people. Now, I have reported in the past about Tony Robbins. I've been seeing some ads from him and Tony DeGracio, I think that's his name. And they have both been taken over by the dark side. And we know Tony has a very large audience. And so it's no wonder that these dark, ancient interference energies are going to use someone with a large platform to come in the backside and underneath all the words that sound right and sound helpful. And they very well may be. However, this dark influence is also under the surface. And when these two men have no grounding cord, well, I'll read it right now, just in present time, so that you can see what's going on with some of these people. So Tony still has no grounding cord, and he has 3 rings. That is kind of like a base minimum for being able to create and manifest. Heart chakra still closed 100%. And in his ego, actually only 15%. So that's not bad, but he still has no idea that he's being used. He has curses, 500 curses at his root chakra. And these curses are designed to create fear, and mostly fear. So I don't know. He seems pretty relentless in his energies as far as fear stopping him. But at any rate, that's Tony. And then Dean DeGracio, I guess it's Dean, not Tony. Dean DeGracio has also no grounding cord and creative rings, 0, and heart 3% open. In his ego, 100%. So, and curses, 500 at his root chakra as well. So this is how the dark energies infiltrate into people that have a really good message, but they don't know otherwise. So the other person that I've also reported on in the past is I can see her face. In fact, this is who I was going to talk about tonight. With the Galactic Federation, blonde hair, or adorable. And her son is named Bodhi. Anyway, that's a different thing, but there's a connection there. Elizabeth April, thank you so much for that. Yes, I love her. I adore her. I think she's doing a lot of good in the world and has been going in and out of infiltration. However, right now she is grounded. She does have an infinite number of rings. Her heart is 100% open. So her energy is flowing. However, she did say something the other day. In fact, she did a whole reel on Ascension symptoms. And, a lot of the things she was talking about were things that I noticed were the result of, and not so much with her, but with other people more so. that she was attributing a lot of these symptoms to Ascension. Like, are you experiencing headaches, nausea, cramping, pressure at the head, ringing in the ears, um, being exhausted and unmotivated? Maybe there was, let me see, I put some notes for some of these other things. Outbursts, feeling very angry, upset, annoyed, frustrated, inability to focus. And she didn't mention this, but I will. Endless scrolling. A lot of these things are programs, and they are the result of this infiltration. So these ancient interference is now using cords. They will do like a minimum of 5 cords at a time, usually at the root chakra. But I've been finding as many as 50 cords at the root chakra, at the crown chakra, at the heart chakra. And so if this is causing a lot of the feelings of like, I'm not working hard enough, I should be doing more, I'm not doing enough, that's part of the programming of these cords. And I also would venture to say that this belief that what you're feeling are ascension symptoms are also part of the program that they are trying to infiltrate you with. Now, if you think as you're experiencing all of these symptoms and feelings of being unmotivated and angry and headaches and etc., and you think those are ascension symptoms, but they're not, then you're not going to do anything about it because you think, oh, I'm just ascending. Well, maybe that's not the case. And I have discovered, of all the people that I've been looking at, that they have these cords and they have this infiltration. So this is why I will endlessly encourage all of you to discover your internal yes and no so that you can ask for yourself, is what I'm experiencing, is it ascension symptoms? Yes or no? Or is this an infiltration? Yes or no? So you need to be able to calibrate and understand these things and discern these things for yourself. Like, don't just take my word for it. See if if you can determine these things for yourself. So I think this, excuse me, this is a really, really important message right now because so many people are being deceived and they're thinking, oh, I'm ascending. Well, when they're really not, they're being deceived. So I just had to do my spiel on that. So hang on a second. So I'm curious if these are some of the questions we can look at tonight. If you are experiencing what you think are ascension symptoms, we can determine that tonight. Is it ascension symptoms or is it infiltration? I'd love to know what you guys are experiencing so we can help you determine this and you won't be deceived by what's going on. And so the other thing that I wanted to mention was, so obviously I just mentioned why this is so critical to know is because many people are being deceived. And more importantly, what you can do about it. So we can help you determine, I can help you determine tonight what you're experiencing. Is it ascension or not? And then what you can do about it, because I'm not doing clearings here, but I am happy to tell you where things are blocked. You can find, you can clear these on your own. And if you don't have a clue about my system, let's see, I don't have my book with me here today, but the system that I use, the Infinity System, is outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, The Blueprint to Infinite Intelligence. It is available on Amazon. And this outlines the whole system that I use with all of my clients. And it's what I'm using to determine this internal yes or no. So, and then what you can do about it. So once you know where the blocks are, that you can use the process called running your energy. There's a free 20-minute meditation hang on, let me just put it up as a little banner. And you can go to my website. Oh, here's my website. Great. That'll have everything that I'm going to talk about tonight, if anything, can be found on my website. So the book is at the top of the website. I believe there's a tab that says book. You can go there and find the book. That will take you to Amazon. Also on my website is the 20-minute meditation. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see an 8 and 20-minute meditation that's free. This will run you through the process of running your energy. And this is what you need to do to start empowering yourself to clear these energies on your own. So right now, there is a wait list for people who want to work with me. They'll need to wait until I get back from my trip here. So after the week of June 9th, I will be available. So if you want altitude reports or a 60-minute breakthrough call with me, you can schedule it for that time when I return. So let's see what kind of questions we have here that relates to Ascension symptoms. You've been feeling all those symptoms, yes. And so I'm not going to, you guys have to ask. I'm not going to just, tell you. I could, but maybe you don't want everybody to know your business. This is a public platform, right? So only ask if you don't care if other people know. A lot of these folks are younger and lack spiritual experience, like Elizabeth. Yeah, I really don't have anything bad to say about her. I think she's amazing. She's not easily influenced by other people. She's pretty much doing her own thing. So I admire her for that. And they are tad naive and lacking discernment. Well, yes. I've been 5 years. I felt all those things. Yes, having lots of what I get is Ascension symptoms. And I did get vax. I guess that's a vaccine. And my body has a lot of drag. Yeah. So if you want me to check, you guys are going to have to ask, but I'm happy to read your comments here. Reading my book. Great. I appreciate that you're reading my book and that you love it. I don't see how someone in their 20s could really be qualified, but maybe that's just because I'm old. I believe Elizabeth is older than her 20s, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I would like to know about the cords, where they are on me. Okay, so what we're talking about tonight is, so you're talking about AI cords, right? Is that what you're talking about, Christine? Okay, hit the likes. Yes, hit the likes. We like that. Subscribe. And so you'll be notified when I come on live. This is really spontaneous thing. So a lot of you people who are listening to this as a recording are unfortunately not going to benefit from this. So please subscribe so you can know when I come on live. All right, Christine, our first guinea pig. Let's see how many AI cords you have and where. Root chakra, 20 cords at your root chakra, and these have a lot of fury in them. So just a note to self about the energy of fury. I have discovered that all of the inflammation symptoms that people have, any of the itises, arthritis, any itis, whatever itis is, a lot of the inflammation symptoms that people are having, things like eczema, which is an inflammation, irritable bowel syndrome, that's an inflammation, lots of things. The root is anger, rage, fury. So when you have all of these things right at the root chakra, this furious energy that you might not be aware of, Christine, you're fortunately grounded in spite of having these rings. So that's these cords. So that's quite admirable. But with all of this fury at our root, most people are often not grounded, and then they have no idea what's going on in their energy field. All right, in love with me. All right, let's see how many of these AI chords you have. And so here's also one other caveat to these chords. So what I'm checking is sort of a general, how many chords, AI chords do I have? Because the interesting thing about these chords is we can clear all the general chords, but then we can ask a very specific question like, why am I so depressed? Or some other thing. And then we'll find a whole new set of these chords that are hiding in deeper layers. So, but we are checking these general chords. So, in love with me, you have, let's see. So first of all, you are grounded. In the root chakra, you only have five of those chords. And so they come in sets of five. So I see it more like a hand right on that root chakra. So you can pull these off and start taking ownership of your root chakra. Daily Muse wants to know, okay, how many chords do you have? Let's see. At the root chakra, and also you're not grounded, Daily Muse. You have 20 of these AI chords at your root chakra with fury. So they're trying to not only keep you ungrounded, and they're being effective with that, but they're also putting a lot of anger, rage, fury in your field. So notice if you've been feeling frustrated, annoyed, maybe short-tempered, not your energy. All right, Sydney, I've been using your technique and soon finishing the second round of Masadi's peak performance. Okay, Masadi is my mentor. As a matter of fact, I'm his second set of eyes, a mentor who has enough wisdom or is humble enough to know that they sometimes can't see their blind spots and they need someone else to see that. That's what I am for Masadi. And so he is my mentor, and I am his second set of eyes for his blind spots and his family. So anyway, I have felt so different, some pressure in my head. Could you check to see? All right. So that's actually maybe two different questions. You are grounded. Chords. You do have 20 of these chords at your crown and root chakra. So that's when you're talking about pressure, that's a pressure cooker. Those two sets of chords, yeah, a lot of pressure. So take that off of your crown and your root chakra. All right, Susie, symptoms such as tight neck, shoulders, and not feeling like I'm in the right place. Those are definitely could be chords, but I'll let you ask if that's what you'd like to know. All right. Sydney, I think we already did you, right? Sydney, I have a very short memory. So Ascension symptoms. Let me see, chords. Okay, so Sydney, you do have chords, 5 at the root chakra, and it's causing you to lose your grounding cords. You have no grounding. Aliens for beginners. Talk about how individuals in the physical world in our lives may be triggering folks work in tandem with cords, spells, curses. Well, the way that when you're saying working in tandem, I think the way that it's really more like, how does it affect you? So if those around you, your family, friends, coworkers, etc., have been infiltrated with the dark side, with these cords, with these spells, with these curses, they're not going to be behaving like themselves. And so then you have to interact with all of that and they may be angry at you for no reason. And you have to remember that the dark side is using all of these people so that they can continue to keep feeding. They are losing their food sources, and so they're desperate, and so they're going to keep poking at as many places as possible to pull you in to their drama and chaos. So that's how it works in tandem with that. All right. Take that off. Let's see. What about waking up in the middle of the night with anxiety? Yes. Any advice for protection while sleeping? I have done a whole clearing on the dream space avatar. So you might want to, I don't know how that would work on the YouTube channel, but to look for videos on sleeping and dreams, dream space. And you can create a whole avatar to clear your dream space. So Laura, you are both not grounded and neither is your dream space. So it doesn't feel safe to be and to go to sleep. So likely you will stay up late until you're completely exhausted before you'll go to bed because this space doesn't feel safe to go to. So I would find that video and create an avatar for your own dream space. Put in the rings how you want that space to be, learning maybe some things that you can bring back in the daytime, fun adventures, feeling safe, having a restful night's sleep, etc. And that's definitely something that will help with that. And often that dream space is a reflection of what you're experiencing in your daytime life. So if you're experiencing a lot of anxiety in the dream space, you're also likely feeling a lot of that in the daytime, but are unaware of it because you have no grounding cord. And because you have no grounding cord, because of all the energies in your own field, then you're only in your body 3%. So you're only feeling 3% of what's going on. So your spirit is trying to work this out in the dream space. So just note to self. Thanks for asking, Laura. We're not doing big readings on everybody, aliens for beginners. We're basically looking at these AI cords and the ascension symptoms that a lot of people are feeling right now. Here's someone else who wakes up in the middle of the night, breathless, heart palpitations. So MD, you were also not grounded, and that dream space also not grounded. So. And if any of you want a full reading about what's going on, you can order that through as a Vibrational Altitude Report. I'll have to do it when I get back, but just note to self. Okay, so Nicole wants to know about cords. Let's see if you have any AI cords. Yes, in the root chakra, you have 20. This is also affecting your ability to get grounded, so you have no grounding cord. And then as a result of that are only in your body 5%. So you're feeling 5% of what's going on in here. So 20 cords is going to create a lot of anger, anxiety, frustration, but you're only feeling 5% of it. And so the thing about that is that when we're only feeling 3% or 5% of what's really going on, that just because we're not occupying our body all the way doesn't mean that those things are gone because we can't feel them. They're just wreaking havoc because you're not home. Just saying. Okay, Sveta. I would love to be checked too. I'm assuming my symptoms recently have been Ascension symptoms. I love using your technique as well. I feel so much better the days I do your 20-minute meditation. Awesome. Thanks for the shout out. So Sveta is a very great student. Let's see if you have any cords, Sveta. Um, you have no AI cords and no people cords. Um, and your energy is flowing really well. So this is a great example of someone who uses the system, who practices, and her energy is flowing. So that what she's experiencing are ascension symptoms. So it would be helpful, Sveta, if you could let us know what, if you're so inclined, and this is a public platform, but if you're inclined to let us know what some of those symptoms are, so people can get an idea of what a true ascension symptom might feel like. All right. Susie would like to know about cords. Let's see, how many cords? Yes. In the root chakra, you also have 20 cords. However, Susie, you are grounded. So you're grounded in spite of these cords. And so it doesn't always have to mean that just because you have a bunch of these AI cords that you don't have a grounding cord, because you can have both. So, however, there's going to be less backup. I'll just say that. I just want to check one thing. So all of these cords in your root chakra, even though you're grounded, it is kind of kicking you out of your body some. So you're in your body 20%, and these 20 cords, which is a lot, is causing that uncomfortable feeling in your body. So pull those 4 hands off so you can really be sovereign in your root chakra. Hello from Minnesota. Lung issues, pressure in head, that's unusual. Low back pain, not resolving. Anxiety, much better. So I'm not sure if cords or ascension issues. Okay. Well, first of all, Catherine, you are grounded. Let's see if you have some cords. I'm getting a yes. In the root chakra, 20 cords. So that's a lot. That will create anxiety. And I believe that the low back pain is it's kind of like what is that called? Referral pain, where you might be having something going on, but it's referring to another part of your body. And that low back is also generally a sign that you don't feel supported. So so lung, lung is operating at about 15%, which is not very high. Cords, there are also more cords at that heart chakra, another 20 cords right at the heart. So it's not so much that you have bad lungs, it's that you have all of these cords right here on top of your lungs that's causing the lungs to not function as well as they could. So probably hard time taking a deep breath. You also have cords at the crown. So that's the head pressure, another 20 at the crown. So looks like you've got some work to do. You're welcome, Laura. So MD, I guess we didn't actually do you yet. Okay. MD. So let's see, cords, 20 at the root chakra. And so you are also not grounded. And so as you can see, I don't need a full name to tap into these energies. The abbreviations, what is that called? is enough for me to tap into you and your question. So yes, so you're not grounded, 20 cords right at your root chakra. Had a feeling of being unbalanced and had some dizzy spells this week. it was around the full moon, if that means anything. And so also just as a disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical advice here. And so if you are really concerned about what you have going on, see your doctor. I'm giving energetic reads on what I notice is happening. So you also, Michelle, do not have a grounding cord. And let's see, in your sixth chakra, there's 20 cords. So that can really affect your equilibrium. It's probably also going to create a lot of confusion and inability to see clearly. So they're filtering their beliefs, their thoughts, their programs right there in the sixth chakra, so that you're not thinking your thoughts, you're thinking their thoughts. And they're usually not supportive, loving, and kind. And they're usually very berating and sort of defeating, making you feel sort of defeated. So that would definitely affect that. Let's see. So not grounded. And then also at the root chakra, another 20 cords. So yeah, that'll definitely cause you to feel off balance. Let's see. I feel... So here, Sydney, I feel the flow of my energy much better. Still working on this internal yes or no. Okay, great. Yeah, you just have to keep practicing. It's an ongoing journey of keep fine tuning your ability to know and trust what you find, what you know. Okay, great. Shelley, I find I get a surge of energy when I get excited about my passion and take action. Sometimes it's hard to calm down. I think that's what you meant. Or to come down, yeah. Do I have AI interference when this happens, or is it something else? Well, I think being excited about your passion, let's see if you have any AI cords. You're really grounded and your energy is flowing really nicely. AI cords, no, I'm not finding any, at least general cords. So well done, Shelley. Keep up the great work. And I love that you're excited about what you're passionate about. That's awesome. Okay, so here's Michelle. So this is maybe a little bit of a shocking report to find out that she's got so many cords. It says that's a lot of cords, and you're very right. I do have issues with my root chakra and safety. I will get on working on my cords. You're so welcome. That's great. So I'm glad you guys are taking action. That's the whole point of all of this, right? It does no good to know that you have all these cords and then go, and then walk away and just feel like, continue to feel like crap because of everything that's going on. So hallelujah to all of you who are taking action, inspired actions, and running your energy, removing these cords. Start mastering your energy field. That's the whole point of me having this channel, of educating all of you guys, of checking on things so that you guys can start to master your energy. And we are on the Ascension timeline, at least all of you who are here, I believe, which is why we keep coming back, right? So let's see, is that it on the questions? I think it is. Let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. Well, we are about to head off to Bali in just a couple of days. And so I will be likely be offline. I don't know how much I will be sharing, how much I'll just be enjoying my time. And I did report earlier that I had been given 5 keys. I only partially know what that means. Before I went to Egypt, I was in Egypt for 2 weeks, about 2 years ago. And this was, I was given 5 keys just before that. And that was just on the heels of having done a very powerful 12-day program where we were helping all the participants get in their highest light quotient in every body system and body organ. And so as a result, we were all in a high light quotient, light frequency. And so because of having done that, Spirit gave me 5 keys. I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know what it meant. And off to Egypt I went. And everywhere I went, is this where we use them? Is this where we use it? And so finally, uh, I'll just share with you for those of you who haven't heard this story. But while I was in Egypt, there was an opportunity to go see Nefertari's tomb when we were in the Valley of Kings. It was a little bit of an added side thing. It wasn't actually part of what the whole group was doing, but I was called to go and participate and go see Queen Nefertari's tomb. And so before I went in, I asked, is this where we use keys? And I got a yes. And so I thought, oh, okay. And went in. And so the guards there, in order for them to make extra tips, they will take you to places that are roped off or forbidden to go, or they're special in some way. And so this is what happened. And so the guard led me to this room that had a rope across the doorway, the open doorway. And he took the rope away and he let me know that this is where Queen Nefertari would pray. And so as soon as I stepped up onto the threshold of the doorway, I just burst into tears. He excused himself and I did a whole clearing and so forth and so on. And then when I left, I also got information that this had to do with the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. When I left, I didn't know that actually 2 keys had been used there. So for divine masculine, divine feminine. And so that was unlocking codes around that. And then later, we went to visit the Sphinx. And these are done in the middle of the night when we could have the whole Sphinx to ourselves in the dark and nobody's around to bother us. And I believe they have to pay extra money for this privilege. At any rate, there were about 45 of us in the paws of the Sphinx. And right on the chest of the Sphinx is a carving that a carved inscription right on the chest. And so that's where I happened to be standing with my back right up against this plaque. And then my mentor and his team were in front of me. There were people on side of me. And then the rest of the group was in filling the pause. And so this is where there was another big clearing. There was the retrieval of Osiris's penis. If you know about that whole legend, you can do some research about that. So there was a retrieval there, and as a result, he gave us a special ring that allows us to do a soul retrieval with certain clients. So there was that, and so there, 2 more rings got. 2 more keys got used. The last key was used on the last day when we were in the king's chamber, again, the middle of the night, so we could have the whole pyramid to ourselves. And we toned in there, which is forbidden, for about 20 minutes, could have been longer. And that's where the final key was used. And I was told that this was giving, because it was a key that was in the crown, it was unlocking and giving everyone permission to have all these codes that were being downloaded. So, and that has unfolded over the past 2 years. And as I've been stepping into more and more of my divine masculine, divine feminine, and this merging of the divine child, and so I have no idea how these keys are going to be used on this Bali trip. I know part of them are going to be used in Bali, and then the other part is going to be used in Angkor Wat. And so I also found that it's surprising and interesting that uh, for those of you who've been following some of these developments of what's they've been learning about the pyramids and these structures that are beneath the pyramids, these coils and things. It's this is the pyramids are a device. It is not a tomb, in case you didn't know. They've also been finding these same kind of structures under the temple in Angkor Wat. So I found that an interesting bit of information that I was also given. So I'm excited to see what's going to unfold in all of these places, because I just keep listening to where I'm being guided, what I need to do, where I'm going. It's like, oh, we're going to Bali now. Okay, we're leading a retreat there. And oh, and we're going to Angkor Wat. Okay, well, exciting. All right. Well, I think it's been my pleasure to see all of you here again. And so, what is the big secret that's hidden under the Sphinx? There are secret there. There's hidden chambers. There's like a big doorway. Some people think that this is the halls of Amenti under the Sphinx. So yeah, there's so much hidden stuff. We have no idea. Thank you for the confirmation, Kimberly, on the energy check, and appreciate all that you do for the world. Great story. Thank you for sharing. Can't wait to hear how your trip goes. Same here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and stay posted, like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned. All right. Sending so much love. Namaste.